everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces with Alliance Group to provide Alabamans with world-class financial service on both sides of the ball. Get the expertise to grow your wealth and protect your assets all under one roof. Give us a call and let's work together to turn your personal financial franchise into a perennial powerhouse. 256-469-2324 or visit us at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That number again is 256-469-2324 or neighborswealthmanagement.com. Attention life insurance owners, do you have a policy with cash value and haven't had a review since you purchased your policy? Did you forget who the agent is? Your policy may be at risk as interest rates have fallen and remain at historical lows. Contact the experts at Neighbors Wealth Management to get a free policy review and know where you stand. Call us at Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That's Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, Lionel Messi has arrived in Paris to finalize his move to PSG. He's agreed to sign a 2-year deal with an option for a third year. He'll earn more than $41 million net annually. Once his contract with Barcelona expired on June 30th, it was unable to keep him because of financial constraints, ending his 21-year tenure with that club. Today's a big day for the Mavericks. Team announcing superstar Luka Doncic has signed a landmark 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension. Doncic, one of the most accomplished players in NBA history, at only 22 years old, becomes the first player eligible for the designated rookie max extension upon signing because he's twice been voted first-team All-NBA. Top 2 picks in this year's NBA draft face off when Cade Cunningham and the Pistons take on Jalen Green and the Rockets in an NBA Summer League matchup, 9 Eastern on ESPN TV.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Tuesday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. A fair mix of sunshine and cloud cover. Temperatures rising into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices in the upper 90s, lower triple digits. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. At the end of the day, many of us are going to be dry. This is essentially a rinse and repeat process as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody wants coffee?
Can you get me off the hook? Roll type C. The tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern bred, southern fed, slick talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today. Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here, am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, yes, we are on, Coach. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. It is a Top 10 Tuesday in the doghouse. And so with Peyton Manning's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you know what? I thought that we would take a look at the top 10 schools who have spawned Hall of Famer.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday Top 10.
Damn, 26 seconds into the show, and I'm dropping that already? Yeah, why not? Let's get it out of the way. Let's do it. You know, Manning is the third volunteer to make it, joining Doug Atkins and Reggie White. That surprised me a little bit. Like, really? 3? That's it? Yeah, 3. That's it. He's the third one to get in. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. But when you look at the list, there are some other surprises on there as well. I mean, who knows? Maybe Alvin Kamara someday? Is he the only former volunteer in the league that you can think of that might make it? Maybe Alvin Kamara? I haven't looked to see everybody, that's got Tennessee roots. Am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something. Am I missing anybody? I mean, it doesn't feel like they've had any great players in the last, 15 years. Maybe I'm wrong. Here's an interesting note. Georgia Tech has more SEC Hall of Famers than does Arkansas and South Carolina, who joined the league in 91. Of course, Missouri and Texas A&M, they just came in 2012, so none of their guys yet are potential Hall of Famers. A&M might have a potential guy or two. But also, they got more than Mississippi State and Vandy, who were original members in 1933. I mean, think about that. Georgia Tech was also an original member and was in the SEC until 1963. And Billy Shaw, who graduated in 1961, played for the Buffalo Bills and was inducted in 1999. All right, so you want the rest of the list? I'll give you the rest of the list now. I mean, why not? We already had Shane and the Moneymakers already gave us the rundown. So we'll give you the rest of the list right now. Kentucky, Ole Miss, Florida, and Auburn have 2. God, Florida and Auburn only have 2? That shocks me. Auburn grads in the Auburn alumni in the Hall of Fame. Frank Gatsky, who played for the Cleveland Browns back in the 40s and 50s, was inducted in 1985. And Kevin Green, the outside linebacker who died way too soon, who played for the Rams, the Steelers, and the Panthers, and the 49ers for a minute, was inducted in 2016. That's it. For Florida, the only 2 Hall of Famers they got are Jack Youngblood and Emmitt Smith. That's it. That is surprising to me. I'm shocked. Not shocked by Kentucky and Ole Miss. Now, Ole Miss is going to maybe get 3, right? They got a shot at getting their 3rd with Eli Manning in a few years. By the way, the 2 Kentucky guys are George Blanda and most recently Dermontti Dawson, who went into Pittsburgh Steelers, great center, who went in 2012. Ole Miss has Buster Kennard, who went in 1971. He played for the Brooklyn Dodgers in the NFL. Buster Kennard played for the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees in the NFL. That's a true story. He played for the Brooklyn Dodgers from 38 to 44, and he played for the Yankees from 46 to 47. I think he was one of the guys that blew the save last night. He was inducted in 1971. The other member from Ole Miss is Gene Hickory, has 8. So Alabama has the most. Alabama has 8. Don Hudson, Bart Starr, Joe Namath, John Hanna, Dwight Stevenson, Ozzie Newsome, Derek Thomas, and Kenny Stabler. Stabler was the last one to go in 2016. Derek Thomas went in 2009. They have the most. Can you think of any Tiders from the Saban era that are going to make it? Now, look, I think Chris Samuels will make it into the Hall of Fame. He'll be number 9, but he's not a Saban guy. That was pre-Saban. Saban has like 60 guys in the league right now. That's a true story. They got, by far, Ohio State is second most, with like 45. Saban has like 60 guys playing in the NFL right now. What Saban guys someday down the road will make it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? The only guy that I can think of that is on a Hall of Fame track is Julio Jones. Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer. Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer. Maybe Marlon Humphreys down the road. Amari Cooper, if he were to have, Amari Cooper would have to have like some really big years. I mean, you can't project the young guys, Jerry Drudy, and who knows what Tua might do and so on. You can't project anything with those guys. The only one I can think of that is certainly on a Hall of Fame track is Julio Jones. I think Marlon Humphreys has a shot. I think Amari Cooper has a long shot. Calvin Ridley is too young. We don't know anything about Calvin Ridley yet. I mean, it's a couple of years. 3 years. It's not enough. We can't put Calvin. Then you get Derrick Henry. Then you got to go Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry, I think Derrick Henry is ahead of Calvin Ridley right now at this point. But Derrick Henry needs at least 3 more big years. Calvin Ridley needs like 6 more big years because he's a wide receiver. He's not there yet. React to that if you want. React! As Nick Saban players in the NFL from Alabama with Hall of Fame credentials or potential. Think about it. Crazy game in Kansas City last night as the New York Yankees became the first team in Major League Baseball history to blow 4 saves in one game and still won. The Yankees and the Royals, they traded runs in there was no score into the 7th. Pitcher's duel. There was like 4 hits in the game. Yankees scored a run in the 7th. Royals, bottom of the 7th. 8th, bottom of the 8th. 9th, bottom of the 9th. Go to extra innings, tied at 3. Yankees scored 2 in the 10th. Royals come back with 2 in the 10th. 5-5. Yankees scored 3 in the 11th. Royals score 1. Yankees win 8-6. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, this is the first game in Major League history in which both teams scored in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th innings. And 11th. You'd have to say an 11th. First game in the 152-year history of baseball. This was history last night. That both teams scored and not tied the score, any score. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. First game ever. That Ghost Runner thing, it changed the final score but not the result. They each would have had 1 run in the 10th instead of 2. The Yankees would have had 2 in the 11th and none for the Royals. So it just would have changed the final score. That rule will be gone next year. That's out. That's going to be gone next year. On today's show, we're going to get things started with Allan Bell Jr. from 24/7 and CBS Sportsline with a full slate of preseason games this weekend. Who is playing in these games? Will these be all just JV games? I bet we're going to see a lot of Tim Tebow on Saturday night in Jacksonville. Tim Tebow's like the Don Quixote of the sports world, tilting at windmills. Look, I'm pulling for Tim Tebow. I'm a Tebow fan. Trying to make the Jags as a tight end. They got a new hockey team, right? The Kraken in Seattle. Maybe Tebow, if he gets cut early enough, he could go try out for the Kraken. Maybe see if he can play hockey. Tim Tebow. God bless you, Tim. And in hour number 2, Buddy Andrade is back. Fantasy specialist for E2Gsports.com. I don't even know what E2G Sports means. I'm going to ask him. It's a great website. Check that out. Buddy is tremendous on the fantasy stuff. Does podcasts, does wrestling stuff. He's going to join us. We'll talk some fantasy. Don't forget, our fantasy draft is coming up August 26th, 5:30, during the drive at Baumhauer's, on the patio at Baumhauer's. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in. 256-576-4977. It's 256-576-4977. We also have the entire digital doghouse for you as well. Our Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. On the Facebook, it's Facebook.com/Thom Abraham Show. Your text window, great way to communicate with the show. 7329-TA Show. 732-982-7469. I got chastised yesterday at the text window. I may get to that. I got chastised for allegedly making light of the opioid crisis in America. Yeah, I'm looking at Grizz right now. He's like, his head's all scrunched up. Like, when the hell did you? Apparently, when I made the comments about the fact that Calvin Johnson, quit the NFL because of the pain that he had, and he was medicating himself with the cannabis, that I made light of the opioid crisis because he's trying to come up with an alternate way of dealing with pain. I've just stated facts. I didn't, I understand the opioid crisis. I get that. And I stated facts on the CBD oil. There's a lot of studies out there that are questioning right now what the benefits of the CBD oil are. I mean, it does some things and other things it doesn't. We don't know. It's not, the science isn't there yet. It's just not. But what Calvin Johnson is doing is not just CBD oil. I mean, they're full-on ganj. He's full-on cannabis. Boom. They're trying to minimize the effects of getting high. But he believes in that plant, and he's got a full-on cannabis business that they're building. Trying to, and he smoked it all through his NFL career. I mean, these are facts. He said it. He'd smoke it before and after every game. He never got clipped for it. And you think about Josh Gordon, and his career was completely wrecked because he couldn't stay away from the cannabis recreationally. He is, now Calvin Johnson said he started on it recreationally at Georgia Tech. He used it recreationally. Then he found that when he got hurt in the NFL, that it helped him being hurt. I mean, but it wasn't CBD oil or anything like that with him. It was smoking a joint. That's the way it is. I reported facts. And I don't go back to the audio. We have everything. We record everything. But I certainly did not make light of but I got called out big time. Don't forget that the Zone is on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch at 97.7 ESPN, online, 97.7ESPN.com, and on the app. The video stream of the show is at all those places as well as the new YouTube channel at 97.7 ESPN, the Zone. I'm looking at it on the Twitch right now. Looks good. I know Grizz has been running in and out of the studio. That's the thing you can see. We pull back the curtain. You can kind of see what's going on there. He still hasn't gotten rid of the Charles Barkley pop-up. Oh, we have a staff meeting today. Yeah, we got junk we need to get rid of out of the studio, including Charles Barkley. Love Charles Barkley, but I mean we got to get rid of that. Check out that new YouTube channel. It's really cool. All right, he's over there. He's mixing. He's playing the platters of matter and the stacks of wax. He wants Calvin Ridley in the Hall of Fame. It's Coach Chris.
Do you know who I am? Who in the blue hell are you? I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and pollen.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You don't ever say that to me. Bull crap.
There won't be any misinformation. There won't be any false statements. There won't be any hearsay.
How come there ain't no Puerto Ricans on Star Trek?
You ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off.
Can you get me off the hook? Real time's sake.
You ask a question every week that I don't know anything about.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
You do what everybody else in media does, just create some and throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
I ain't gonna be buried. I want a taxidermist to stuff me. Say hello to my new
Hey, yo! It's a little early for Calvin Ridley, big boy.
No?
Yes.
It's
early.
Why?
All right, who would you put ahead? Calvin Ridley, at this point in their careers, Calvin Ridley or Amari Cooper?
I don't know, because right now, yeah. I mean, I guess I would have to put I'm gonna go with Calvin Ridley. No,
so you think Calvin Ridley is more on a Hall of Fame pace through 3 seasons? So let's see. Let's look at the numbers. Calvin Ridley has played in 44 games in his career.
Yeah.
He has 217 receptions, 3,000 yards, averages 14 yards a catch, and 26 touchdowns in his career so far. And he's played about half. Let's see. He's played 44 games. So Amari Cooper's played 93 games, which is a little more than double the number of games. He has 6,211 yards, a little more than double, or around double the yards. He averages 13.8, so almost the same. I think 14.1,
yeah.
Something like that, to 13.8. So they're almost identical receivers.
Yeah.
He has 38 touchdowns. Ridley has 26 touchdowns. So he's ahead. Ridley's ahead on touchdowns, and
in 3 seasons.
That's what I'm saying. He's ahead on his touchdown pace.
Yeah.
He's ahead on his touchdown pace. Compare Amari Cooper to Calvin Ridley. This Pro Football. Let's see. Compare the Pro Football Reference is just absolutely amazing. All right, so you look at the player comparison on those two guys. I think they're very, very similar. I honestly think that they are very, very similar right now.
And here's where I differ from that, because Calvin Ridley is used more as an all-around wide receiver. I mean, he gets put in those end rounds like you see with Devontae Smith and everything like that with his speed. He has 13 rushing touchdowns over 13 seasons. Amari Cooper has 14. So he gets used beyond what he's.
Guy.
Yeah. Same guy. In 3 seasons, he averages 1,000 yards a year.
So does
he has
Amari
the same
Cooper.
Over 7. But we don't know what Amari Cooper or what Amari will do the rest of his career.
I'm saying the pace. I'm saying right now,
yeah,
Amari
on
Cooper.
The pace. Sure.
Amari Cooper is Calvin Ridley is on his way to being Amari Cooper.
But you asked me who would I pick, and I just picked Amari Cooper over them. But at the end of the day, right now, if you said right now they're the same player, I would still pick Amari Cooper over.
I don't think either,
Ridley.
but I don't think either one of them.
I'm sorry, Calvin Ridley over Amari Cooper.
But neither one of them are Hall of Famers.
You don't think so? At the end of their
because I don't think Amari Cooper's a Hall of Famer. I think Calvin Ridley has to up his game a little bit. He has to have his next 3 years have to be really big. He has to really, I think to separate, he has to be. Calvin Ridley averages 69 yards a game. Amari Cooper averages 66 yards a game. They're the same guy.
If Calvin Ridley had played a full season in 2019, he played 13 games. He had 7 touchdowns. He would have easily had 10 or 11 touchdowns maybe in those next 3 games.
But Amari Cooper had the same thing. He had a couple of seasons that he had injuries. Or injuries, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, Amari Cooper Amari Cooper played. You know what? Amari Cooper's answered the bell a lot. He missed 2 games in 2017. He missed 2 games in 2016. He missed 4 games in 2017.
Yeah.
So yeah, he missed some games, but the point is that their average right now, when you look at them,
yeah,
Ridley averages 69.6, Cooper averages 66.8, Ridley averages 0.6 touchdowns. That's rushing 0.6 touchdowns per game. Cooper averages 0.4 touchdowns per game receiving. Ridley has the rushing touchdowns. They've used him more as a rusher. There's no doubt about that. But they're very, very similar. Their numbers are very similar right now. That doesn't mean I don't think Amari Cooper's going to get any better. Calvin Ridley could get better. But I think that Derrick Henry is ahead of both of them, right? I mean, Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So Julio's a Hall of Famer. I think that Derrick Henry might be ahead of both of them, but Derrick Henry needs 3 big years. He's got to offset, his first couple of years when they didn't use him at all.
Yeah.
So he needs to now go bigger, I think, in his next 3 years. He doesn't have to have 2,000 yards, but he has to have 1,500 yards a game. 1,500 a game would be a lot. That would be a record. He has to have 1,500 a season minimum the next 3 years. Yeah. He's got to be in that 15, especially now that they got 17 games.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
are we missing? Who are we missing? Are we thinking there's 60 players?
That, like, stands out to me. You said Marlon Humphrey, maybe.
Marlon Humphrey's kind of coming along.
Would Dre Kirkpatrick be? Like, because he played so long? No.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Not Landon. I don't think Landon Collins would.
Landon Collins.
Not Ha Clinton Dix.
Getting close. Clinton. This was those are nice players. Those are nice players, but they're not Hall of Fame players. Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think that Minkah Fitzpatrick is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah.
Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'll go with him.
Let's see.
I think he's on that pace. I'm looking at other guys, Deshaun Hand, Damian Harris.
Jonathan Allen?
Jonathan Allen's off to a nice start. Got a ways to go yet. But he's off to a good start to his career. No doubt about that.
I don't think C.J. Mosley I don't think C.J. Mosley will be.
No, good player. You're talking about Hall of Famers here. You're talking about of all the
That's
players ever from
Alabama,
there's only 8. You know what I mean? So think about Auburn's got 2.
I'm trying to think. Yeah,
Auburn's got 2. Cam Newton is not a Hall of Famer.
No, I don't think he will be. Even with the one MVP, I don't think.
No, one MVP doesn't get it done for you.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd have to have something really big happen. He's not. So it's interesting to look at. Eddie Jackson's having a nice career, not a Hall of Famer. Ryan Kelly.
Yeah.
He's off to a really good start. Ryan Kelly is the best center in the NFL.
I think if he finishes, if
he keeps going like this, if he does this for
I can't believe I
12
didn't
years,
think of that.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly is one that could be a Hall of Famer out of there. I'm just going down through guys, man. There's just a lot of guys. J.K. Scott is one of the best punters in the league.
Yeah,
he has. I mean, they don't put punters in.
He was kind of iffy when he first came in. Like the first,
was he?
Yeah, he was a little iffy the first came in because I watched a lot of those Packers games. So I think he was just trying to get used to the weather or something. Maybe just the atmosphere. I don't know. But yeah, he was a little sketch at the beginning.
All right, let me get Floyd in here quick. Floyd, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good, Tom. What about you?
I am fantastic. If I was any better, I'd be 2 of me.
I hear you. You stole my thunder there with Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he's headed that way, and I know he's not a Saban era Alabama kid, but Dante Hightower is maybe headed down that road. I don't know.
Well, Dante Hightower's a Sabanite, right?
Is he?
Yeah. Dante. I mean, look, Saban's been there 14 years. Can't tell me Dante Hightower has been in the league. Check that out, Grizz. See, when did Dante Howard start at Alabama? When did he come to Alabama? Was he the last Mike Shula guy? I thought he was at Alabama after 2007. When is he, Grizz? You know? Got him on.
Give me 1 second. We're doing it.
I got Dante. But he's having a nice.
Yeah, he had to have been. He got drafted in 2012, so he went there in 2008, 2007. So yeah.
Okay. But he's having a nice career though.
He's having a nice career. I don't know. He's not having a Hall of Fame career, but he's having a nice career.
All right, man. Good
all right,
discussion.
brother.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Allan Bell Jr. will join us. 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports Line. He's up next. Talk some NFL with him on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Golf, the Wyndham Championship underway tomorrow. Webb Simpson, the odds-on favorite at plus 1,200. Hideki Matsuyama at plus 1,400. Louis Oosthuizen at plus 1,800. The NFL preseason underway after last week's Hall of Fame game, and more teams getting started this week. A look at the early odds for NFL MVP in 2021. Patrick Mahomes, the odds-on favorite, plus 500, followed by Aaron Rodgers at plus 800, Josh Allen plus 1,000, Tom Brady plus 1,200, and Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, and Kyler Murray each at plus 1,400. NBA MVP odds for the 2021-22 season. Luka Doncic at plus 550, Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant each at plus 700.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-three meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipe. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. You know, the things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Tuesday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. A fair mix of sunshine and cloud cover. Temperatures rising into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices in the upper 90s, lower triple digits. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. At the end of the day, many of us are going to be dry. This is essentially a rinse and repeat process as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
You know, I never did a study of college coaches that created the most Hall of Famers. We know that Nick Saban creates the most first-round draft picks, and he creates the most guys drafted into the NFL. but never really thought about it from, I wonder what college coach is responsible for the most Hall of Famers at the NFL level. I mean, Grizz, that would be an interesting study to do because, Kramer says, you're right, Big Dog, lots of solid Bama players in the NFL, but only one Saban Hall of Famer right now, of course, Julio Jones. He said he was hopeful that Marcel Darius would be one of those guys, but that ended up not working out either. So, I think there are guys. Minkah Fitzpatrick's got a shot. There's no doubt. There are guys, and look, there's only been 8 in the history of all time. And when you look at, like, Auburn's only had 2, and Georgia's only had 4. LSU 6, just had their 6th. So it's not like a ton of guys go to the Hall of Fame. There's like 340 guys. That's it. That was just a third for Tennessee with Peyton Manning. But I wonder what college coach is responsible for the most Hall of Famers. I think it's an interesting study. Allan Bell Jr. joins us, 24/7 Sports, NFL expert, and CBS Sportsline as well. AB, welcome to the show. How are you?
Big Dog, doing good. Let me say this. Let me jump in on that question you were just asking. I think it's phenomenal. First, whoever coached that 0-1 Miami team, I guess Larry Coker? Good luck, because he just walked into just a ton of Hall of Fame guys. I'll also say this. You're talking about Bama players. Listen here. This is going to sound crazy, but when you look at the numbers, it's not. If Derrick Henry has 2 to 3 more years of just normal run of what he's doing, I'm not saying 2,000 yards, his normal just touchdown statistical averages, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's already putting up those numbers. It's incredible.
I put him on the short list of potential guys that Alabama's got 60 guys in the league right now. Nick Saban has 60 guys, which is absolutely nuts. It's 15 more than Ohio State, the next closest. My short, Julio Jones is in, right? He's a Hall of Famer. Julio Jones, Hall of Famer. Yep. He would be the 9th Alabama player. I think Chris Samuels should be a Hall of Famer and will be at some point in time, but that's not a Saban guy. But that would be the 9th guy from Alabama to make the Hall of Fame out of the SEC. So there would be, Julio Jones would be the 10th. But other than that, the guys that I mentioned were Derrick Henry. If he has 3, I got to have 3 1,500-yard plus years, even with the 17 games. Got to have 3 1,500-yard plus. And then the other guys that are potential, like Chad likes Calvin Ridley in his 3-year start. Now, Calvin Ridley's off to a nice start. But to me, Calvin Ridley, he's Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's got 7 years in, and Calvin Ridley is averaging almost exactly the same as Amari Cooper. And as you go on, your numbers kind of go down a little bit. One averages 69 yards a game. Cooper averages 66 yards a game. They both average a half a touchdown a game, that kind of thing. But Minkah Fitzpatrick, maybe? He's on a good start to his career for 3 or 4 years.
Well, let me say this. Not to interrupt you. For wide receivers, it's going to be tough because you kind of get backlogged. Not saying that the guys won't get in, but it takes time. We've just seen there's just so many wide receivers. But Minkah Fitzpatrick is a great call because think about this. If you can find a niche, right? This sounds crazy, but it's true. Cordell Patterson is going to go to the Hall of Fame just for his kick and punt return touchdowns alone. He's literally tied for the most in NFL history, right? So
that would be another Tennessee guy. Yeah, that would be another Tennessee guy possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, and my point by it is that Minkah Fitzpatrick, the turnovers, the amount of defensive touchdowns, what he produces in terms of those 2 statistical numbers, if he continues to put those up, it's a no-brainer because you can't overlook it. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going, but yeah.
No. I'm just throwing names out here. I'm just throwing names out of guys that have had nice starts to their career, like Marlon Humphrey, even Landon Collins. He was really hot for a while there, and then he kind of faded a little bit when he got to Washington. It's hard though. I mean, you're looking at how many guys has Saban put in the NFL, but it's hard. And maybe it goes to how great a coach a guy is, where he could be so dominant in college football. Everybody says about talent, but yet these guys go to the NFL. And they're good meat and potato players. Dante Hightower is not an NFL. There's not a Hall of Famer. He's a nice player, really nice player. Ryan Kelly might be a Hall of Famer. Ryan Kelly might end up being the best center of this generation.
Well, it's true. It's true, absolutely. And it's astonishing to look at the numbers and the amount of people Saban's put in the NFL. It's just crazy.
Now, when you look at Auburn, they just have not had a ton of guys. Right now that are doing anything in the league. They got guys like, Greg Robinson or Kerryon Johnson or Dee Ford. The leader of the pack for Auburn is, of course, Cam Newton. And for a minute there, and this is how it can be, for a minute, he looked like he was, building a Hall of Fame career, but it's kind of gotten flat the last 3 or 4 years, really almost since the MVP season, and now he's just trying to hang on to his job.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there. Now, you look at, the rushing touchdowns, right, as a quarterback, but I don't know if that gets you in, just based off that. So I'm with you. That was difficult because he was on pace, but yeah, it seemed like that train kind of came to a stand.
I'm hearing good things about Mac Jones in Patriot camp.
Yep.
What are you hearing? I'm hearing he's taken it for a couple of days. He took more first team snaps. Even I'm hearing that's a real battle there. Which a lot didn't feel like it would be the case.
Yeah, he first off, yes, you're correct. He's having an excellent camp, and the players love him. The fans, they certainly love him. Every time he runs on the field, it seems like they're giving him an ovation. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a couple, I think 2 weeks ago in regard to this. Like, Cam's going to get he's going to start the season, but their quarterback competition is different than most other teams because I think the Patriots all understand that this is going to be Mac Jones's team, right? So instead of making those guys like, who's going to be like what's going on in New Orleans, right? Like, instead of that kind of a battle, it's both of you need to be ready because just based off likelihood of what we've seen, Cam's probably going to get hurt, and nobody's hoping for that. But that's just how it's kind of gone with him. So, Mac, be ready because at any point, this team can be yours, and we're not looking back. So, yeah, he's getting him prepared, and I'm excited to see this Thursday what he does, the amount of reps that he gets in the preseason game, because I bet they're going to be through the roof. Belichick is going to give him every opportunity to be ready to go.
What do you think? How are they going to attack these 3 preseason games? I mean, you have a scenario. We saw what we saw in the Hall of Fame game, obviously with Dak Prescott and Ben Roethlisberger sitting out. So it makes you wonder: is this what we're going to see? Will we see starters get a half in any one of these 3 games? Do you change the way you think about the third game? What's your thought process and who we will see playing in these games early on?
Yeah, so, I think that it's going to be different for every single team. I don't think we're going to have that uniform, third game, starters play into the, third quarter. I think that those days are kind of done. It's going to be really just team by team, but you have to get your starters in there at some point. They're going to have to get reps. So we're going to see it, but I think it's going to be fascinating of, do you do it game 2 or do you do it game 3? And again, I think it's going to differ. With the Bucs, Bruce Arians said yesterday, everyone is going to play in their first preseason game. So Tom Brady is probably going to start that game. Now, he might only get one series, right? But he's going to get in that game. I think you're going to see, just kind of across the board. And then also, you're going to see teams that are going to be very, very, kind of easy with their stars. One included would be Julio Jones here in Nashville. We've seen Mike Vrabel, who, as a former player, he's very, very, in tune with players and especially veteran star players that we don't need you to be out here at practice every day. You be ready for the season. That's where it's important. So you might not see Julio Jones much at all, in the preseason, but he'll be ready to go for week 1. So long story short, I think it's going to be different for every single team. The thing to look for is which teams have quarterback battles, and then kind of where these young wide receivers that went the first, second round, how many reps are they out there getting? That part's going to be fun.
Well, I think that the whole view of the preseason changed forever when they didn't have a preseason last year, and the season looked like a regular season. You know what I mean? Football looked like football. It was, there were a few things early on. You said, well, if they had preseason, well, maybe if they had mini camps and OTAs and all those things, I almost think that those things not being there, those installation periods not being there, maybe hurt more than an actual quote-unquote preseason game. I think there'll be a lot of battles at the back end of these rosters is what we're probably going to see. But I think that after last year, and I really do think the NFL and the owners, they have a real problem on their hands because these games are priced and sold as part of a season ticket package. and they really are JV games. In many, many cases, you are watching as many as 30 guys playing in a game that are not going to be NFL players when September rolls around.
Yep, 100%. You're exactly right. And Nick Saban said this last year, and I wish I would have paid attention and listened to him and really, listen. It was on the first game day show, the week before the big, all big teams had started. And he said, look, everybody says that defense is ahead of offense to start a season, and I'm not saying that that's wrong. He said, offense doesn't need anyone to practice against all offseason. Defense does. So he was exactly right, because we saw there was no preseason, and in week 1 of the NFL, it was the highest scoring, NFL week 1 we've ever had, right? Nick Saban nailed it completely. So I say all that to say this: you're going to see defensive starters playing. You are going to see those guys getting reps. You will see way more of your important defensive players out there because they do need the practice. Whereas, especially teams like the Falcons, say, with Matt Ryan, right, where he knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's got a new head coach, but he could get together with guys in the offseason. They've been doing that. They've been throwing. They've just had a whole lot more reps than defensive players had. So, yeah, you might not see it offensively, but if there are defensive players that you want to see for your team in terms of starters, you're going to get a good look at them because they absolutely do need the reps.
Was it Adrian Peterson that famously never played in the preseason? I think. I don't think he ever played. Will Derrick Henry take a snap in the preseason?
He might. I mean, just because Derrick Henry likes to be out there, but he's not going to get many reps. They're going to have Brian Hill and Darrington Evans getting almost all of them.
It's interesting to see. Now, I think a guy that we will see plenty of is in Jacksonville on Saturday night on the NFL Network. And that's Tim Tebow. Because they need to know what they got with Don Quixote there as to whether or not he actually can play in any way, shape, or form. And for the NFL Network, that's good. I mean, it's the primetime game Saturday night on the NFL Network, and there will be eyeballs. It'll be the Tebow factor. There'll be eyeballs watching to see what this number 85 tight end looks like for that team.
You're right. NFL Network, they knew what they were doing with I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars are on, national games all 3 weeks, because those ad rates are going to be normal NFL games, right? People are going to tune in, for Tim Tebow, but also Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, right? Like, there's a lot of change that happened with Jacksonville. So, yeah, I think that's a good point. And, Trevor Lawrence might not get a ton of reps throughout the preseason games, but he's going to get them. And Tim Tebow is going to get them, and that's a team that their entire everything changed. I mean, quarterback, head coach, entire philosophy, of the franchise. So, yeah, I bet we do see a lot of Jacksonville's actual key players because they've got a lot of work.
Yeah, Allan Bell Jr. with us, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sportsline. I think the other thing we need to watch in the division in the Titans division in the AFC South is the Colts and their quarterback situation. I don't know how much Carson Wentz would have played, but now with the foot surgery and being out, into the season, now Sam Ehlinger is taking more snaps. The Texas quarterback, Jacob Eason, had been taking snaps there. I think that's going to be kind of fascinating to watch to see what do they have with those two guys, because the prevailing wisdom is that the Colts won't be able to take a snap at center because they got nobody. But who knows? What these two guys might be able to do.
Oh yeah, and think about it from kind of a tree branch form of not only getting Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger reps, and letting them both get reps with the ones, right? So you got Frank Reich, who has to figure out, can these guys play, and if one or two of them can, getting them prepared to be a starter, but then also judging that and saying, okay, do we need to make a trade? How bad are we at this position? So, yeah, the Colts have a ton going on in these preseason games. They've got a lot of decisions they could go any route. So, yeah, I'm with you. That's another great call. You're going to see a whole lot more action out of them. And, with that, you're going to have the ones playing with them. So you're going to have your offensive line. You're going to have your tight ends, your running backs, your wide receivers, because, these two cats, Easton and Ehlinger, are young. Right? They have no experience whatsoever. So, yeah, that's an excellent point by you.
Another interesting storyline preseason-wide will be Jordan Love at the Packers. Typically, he'll get a bunch of snaps. You won't see a ton of Aaron Rodgers, but you got to be careful what you ask for, because you'd think that the Packers, behind the scenes, they're thinking, well, let's get the fans used to this. Let's show them Jordan Love, and let's see this kid, star into preseason, and all of a sudden he looks real good. And then and then fans start thinking that, maybe I want to see a little more of that guy, especially in wake of the way all of this went down with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, big time. And I think this is an interesting storyline, what you just said right there, because they kind of made their bed. Now they're going to have to sleep in it. Buddy, you better be getting Jordan Love ready. Like you did all that, you went and drafted him. You angered the quarterback here, so you better get this kid prepared, because he's going to be playing for you at some point. So, yeah, that's an excellent point. And then, two, you're not going to run Aaron Rodgers out there, to begin with. So you've got to get the kid, just reps and see what you have. So, yeah, that's a great point, because you're not going to get him a lot of reps during the season. So you better get him all in, because like it or not, there's a great chance he is your Packers starting quarterback next year.
Yeah, and I think that's why they want to kind of ease that imagery into their fans. All right, and for the bettors out there, be careful, right? I mean, come on, just be careful, because you just don't know if there's any trend that I've always liked in the preseason. The one that I do like is first-year head coaches, because they have to make it feel like a game, an Urban Meyer type guy, some of these other guys, they need to make this feel more like a game, because they're going through the paces and learning that stuff, and places where there are some real battles in key positions. Then you look at those people and say, well, yeah, they're going to play a little bit differently than another team might play. Jacksonville over Cleveland. Cleveland knows what they've got offensively. You might not see very much out of them, but Jacksonville's going to play Trevor Lawrence, and they're going to take a good look at trying to establish some sort of a winning attitude there. Urban Meyer, he doesn't want to lose any games. So there are certain trends, but for the most part, be careful, right, when it comes to betting a preseason game.
Yeah, absolutely. Be very, very careful. But you got it right there. Understand the teams and what they're looking to do. The Titans going in to play the Falcons this week, they've got their offense pretty much down. They know what they want to do. They're going to work on defensive players, but offensively, you're not going to see much at all. And Arthur Smith, a brand new head coach, he wants to see what he has. So you might not see Matt Ryan, but you're going to see some guys out there. Yeah, be careful with that. Understand the depth of the teams, because that is going to dictate a ton of what you're dealing with. But yeah, just be careful. Understand what these teams are going to be looking for. Some are playing to get defensive players better. Some are playing to win. So, yeah, you're exactly right.
Always a pleasure. Good to see that Vanderbilt looks like Vanderbilt again, by the way. I just saw their new uniforms, and it looks like Clark Lee wants them to look like, Vanderbilt. So, we'll see how that all looks on the TV. They still are waiting on their first Hall of Famer, but they've only been in the SEC since 1933, so – and Jay Cutler's not getting in anytime soon. I got news for you, so that ain't going to happen. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff.
All right. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's get a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1 right here. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks, and that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Chris, I don't know if you saw this, but so ESPN re-aired for, I don't know, the 5,000th time their 30 for 30 Roll Tide War Eagle, the documentary about the tornado in 2011, right?
Yeah.
And we've all seen it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We've seen it multiple times. And it's really, really good. So ESPN re-aired it here recently, and they were fined $20,000 from the FCC. All right? They ran it back in October was the last time they ran it. And they were fined $20,000 from the FCC. Why? Because they, quote, willingly violated the commission's rules that prohibit the transmission of false or deceptive emergency alert system, end quote. The EAS tones, the emergency alert system tone that is in the documentary.
Yeah.
When the tornado was coming, they played the tones. You know, they
oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So they played the tones, and they were fined for playing the tones. ESPN said, wait a minute, the tones didn't trigger any automated relay equipment because it didn't have those tones in there, afterwards that would trigger things. It's a radio term, the tones.
Yeah.
And they included the sound of the horns going off for storytelling purposes. But it was not, of course, for any real emergency or anything. Well, the FCC rejected that argument. And they fined them $20,000 for having tones going off during a damn documentary.
Telling you, we got to watch our music now. FCC, man, they must be hurting for money.
You keep cracking down on
My
us for
goodness.
playing 30 seconds of Freebird or whatever. I don't know.
It's usually Facebook, but who cares?
All right. Hour number 1 is done. Coming up next, Buddy Andrade is back. E2G Sports, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
Angie's List is now Angie. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or you're planning your dream renovation, Angie connects you with top local pros who can get the job done right. See reviews, compare quotes, and book hundreds of projects. Plus, when you book and pay through Angie, we'll cover your project up to the full purchase price, plus limited damage protection with our Happiness Guarantee. Check out Angie.com, and for more on the Happiness Guarantee, go to Angie.com/happiness-guarantee.htm.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. And I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitend as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, Lionel Messi has arrived in Paris to finalize his move to PSG. He's agreed to sign a 2-year deal with an option for a 3rd year. He'll earn more than $41 million net annually. Once his contract with Barcelona expired on June 30th, it was unable to keep him because of financial constraints, ending his 21-year tenure with that club. Today's a big day for the Mavericks. Team announcing superstar Luka Doncic has signed a landmark 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension. Doncic, one of the most accomplished players in NBA history, at only 22 years old, becomes the first player eligible for the designated rookie max extension upon signing because he's twice been voted first-team All-NBA. Top 2 picks in this year's NBA draft face off when Cade Cunningham and the Pistons take on Jalen Green and the Rockets in an NBA Summer League matchup, 9 Eastern on ESPN TV.
The following liner is courtesy of Frank Caliendo. Check out Frank online at frankcaliendo.com.
Tell you what, man, listen to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings. Knock on wood if you're with me. I say his name right? Tyson?
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? If somebody responds, get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. For all your service needs, it's Woody Anderson Ford. Listen, you want a service department that shows great pride in their shop. I mean, if you go and to the shop and you find out that it's a mess and they got tools thrown all over the place and there's grease on the floor, then you're going to say, wait a minute. This isn't the kind of place I want taking care of my vehicle. How are they going to take care of my vehicle? When you pull into a shop that is pristine and clean and everything's organized and neat, that tells you that they take pride in their workmanship, and they're going to take pride in making sure that your vehicle gets fixed right. That's what you find at Woody Anderson Ford. And they've been taking care of the Tennessee Valley for years and years, and they can take care of you. All right, joining us now, a guy that's now he's been around with us for a few years now, buddy Andrade, and he's got a new website that is up, e2gsports.com, and this is really good, man. I've been on this site a lot this morning, checking it out, getting ready for the show and stuff, and there's a lot of information there at e2gsports.com. You need to check it out, but they have their Ultimate Fantasy Football Playbook out now, and you can get that as well there. And he joins us on a Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Buddy, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, good. How we doing, my friend?
I am fantastic. How you doing? How are you doing? That's
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Good to hear your voice today. Really good to hear your voice today.
Tell us about, before we get into the fantasy stuff, about E2G Sports. Now, first of all, what does E2G mean? All right, I need to know, what does E2G mean, because I'm having a hard time figuring this out. And I told the listeners that I was going to ask you what E2G means.
All right, it's for ear to the ground sports.
Ear to the ground. Oh, now see, that makes sense. Ear to the ground.
Yeah, so we just a little bit of a twist on it. It looks really good on a shirt and a hat, and you'll see that in our shop. Just a little plug there, but the E2G is ear to the ground sports. And we started in 2014 just as a podcast, but the site went up in April, and has great job. I got some great employees, great people who work there. We're a team. We're a family. We work together. We share each other. We lift each other up. And if you can't follow those principles, you don't need to be there. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's not just a fantasy website. I mean, it's one of the things that you do is the fantasy football stuff. And I would assume that there's a lot of fantasy football stuff at the site. And, of course, the access there for less than $2, right? You can get the ultimate fantasy football playbook. But you guys got MLB covered. You got NBA, NHL, NFL stories. You got everything covered there. I mean, it's a kind of a one-stop shop, I think, for folks that are looking for sports info.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a great team that markets and puts this all together, and a lot of writers. As a matter of fact, one of our NBA writers is actually from Nigeria.
Huh.
So
wow.
The Celtics hire the new coach from Nigeria, and I get a hold of him. I don't know the time difference, so I feel bad texting him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Tunde, can you write just everybody else is writing, yeah, he got hired by the Celtics, but can you tell people, like, nobody else is going to have this vantage point of what this means to the country of Nigeria to have the head coach of the prestigious Boston Celtics?
Yeah.
Like, can you tell us what that's like? And we try to give you a different spin on articles. We try to write in our own flavor, back up everything we say. You want to debate us, you want to talk to us, we're easily accessible on social media. We try to do things very cleanly and just, like I said, team-oriented. And this was a big team effort with the Fantasy Guide, and I'll thank everybody when we start talking about that, but the group that put this together, because they did a fantastic job.
Well, let's get into this this fantasy football playbook, because now our draft is coming up August 26th, which is even earlier than I usually do it. I mean, I made it August 26th this year for the Doghouse Fantasy League, the DFL, and we'll have great prizes and so on. We'll do it at Bob Baumhauer's restaurant during our evening show. We're going to do it between 5 and 7 o'clock. And, again, I tell the listeners out there, if you want a piece of this, if you want to be in one of our fantasy leagues, we'll make as many leagues as we need to make. But if you want to be a part of it, it would be good if you went ahead and hit me up at the text window, 732-982-7469, and let me know that you're going to be coming, so I got a little bit of an idea just how much room we're going to need on the patio at Baumhauer's when we do this. But people are already drafting. They're already having their drafts and everything, right? I mean, they start really early. I guess I'm old school. I want to see more camp. I want to see a little bit of preseason anyway. I want to make sure nobody gets hurt. I'm waiting until the 26th for our draft.
Yeah, and some people are even waiting later because the season starts September 9th with that Dallas Tampa Bay Thursday night game, and then the slate of Sunday and Monday games for week one. And just things to remember for this year. You got 17 games this year. Bye weeks are a little bit different. We talked about the bye weeks last year being as late as week 13, and we saw how that benefited big time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about how, that week, Christian McCaffrey, if he was healthy, he wouldn't have been available, and Tom Brady wasn't going to be available in your playoffs. And, yeah, it's just interesting. There'll be week 14 buys this year, and I'm just curious how leagues are going to run it, whether they go to 16 or to week 17.
That's a great point. I didn't even think of what the impact that would be on fantasy as far as, what are you seeing from some of the different leagues as far as how many games will be in fantasy and when the playoff will start in fantasy?
From what I've seen, a lot of people are going 15 weeks the season, and they're going to do playoffs 16 or 17 and 18.
Right.
So the championship will be that last week because 7 playoff teams now. Last year we saw a lot of teams didn't have to rest people that last week of the season. It's going to be a little bit different. And again, it's a divisional game, so those games usually end up becoming important at the end of the year. You always end up having one that gets bumped to that Sunday night to be for a divisional championship.
Right. No, that's a great point. All right, so E2G's Ultimate Fantasy Football Playbook, $1.99, 130 pages. Now, do you get updates as the season goes on? If you download this thing, you got this digital version of it. Is it kind of updated, throughout the year, or is it, boom, this is it, you get this 130 pages, this is what you got for your draft?
You're going to get a preseason, and then what we're going to do is we're going to reach out to the people who buy the magazine and give them a spot where they can go and ask questions each week. We're going to host a podcast each week. That'll be exclusive just to the people who buy the magazine, and they can come on and ask questions. They can email questions to the experts. They can everybody's Twitter handle is there. So, I mean, if you want to reach out to MJ and find out about, what he had to say about quarterbacks and what his thought is, reach out to MJ because the guy's an expert on football, or right. John Walton or any of these guys. Do you mind if I run down the group just to...
Yeah, no. Okay. Tell me about the guys. Tell me about your team.
All right, so I'm the founder, but the guy who put this all together was John Mendoza out of Denver, Colorado. Great job. He's a fantasy football expert, just a great guy. John Walton was a big part of this with the running backs. Dalton Davidson, MJ Elvira, Tom Nash, who was the overseer of everything. He came in late, but he just really put that expert at the end and said, yeah, this just doesn't look right here. This doesn't look right here. Like almost like an associate editor, like a producer. Mm-hmm. Robert Marcello, who helped us with the draft. And then my 3 ladies, Canada Kim Ramreka, our Toronto football champion. We got to let everybody know she's a fantasy football champion, winning leagues. Kelly Murphy, down there by you guys in Florida. Jane Roy, who is my marketing and sales lady, who is an absolute genius. Dan, who will be promoted to president of this company. Dan Blanda does a fantastic job. Derek Hess, who does all our internet stuff. The guy's just unbelievable. Lauren Schuster, who edited this whole magazine and is just an important part of the team, and our person who makes sure you can pay for all this, and we have bank accounts to put the money in when you do, and helps with the shop, Kathy Mon. So that's the team that really helped put this together. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but this is the group I had that really put everything together, and it was very important for me to give a shout-out, and I want to give a shout-out to my dad, John Andrade, who's been a big supporter of the group.
Let me ask you, has the impact of legalized sports betting in the states that have it now, as it every year more and more states come online, does it affect, or has it affected the interest at all in fantasy sports, fantasy football in particular, because of the fact that, for many years this was kind of a way to have a little action on a game, and now you can bet directly on the game. Have you found that it's had any impact at all in fantasy, or has it actually made it even more attractive?
It's actually made it more attractive, these sites online that you can go on, because you can put in your daily lineup and put your action on teams, whether you have to drive over a border, like from Mass, you drive over to the New Hampshire border, put in your action. on the team. Just make sure you're in the state of New Hampshire. And, you can do both, and it just totally enhances your day. And people totally take their days on a Sunday. You start at 1 o'clock, you finish at 10 o'clock, you watch your fantasy team, you watch your bets, you cheer, you yell, you scream, you do everything. And, we get more weeks of it this year, right up until Valentine's Day this year.
Let's look at the running backs a little bit. You've got to be – it's kind of interesting because with the running backs, you're looking at a guy that is a versatile guy that's going to get a lot of catches as well. That's why Christian McCaffrey seems to be ahead of many, many lists. Delvin Cook is another guy that's up there. The first guy that kind of comes to mind as a pure running back is the Titans' Derrick Henry. Alvin Kamara is a multi-use type guy. Nick Chubb is a multi-use type guy as well. Doesn't get enough credit for what he does out of the backfield, but they're using him more and more in the passing game. Give me your take and some of the top guys that you like at running back, and how do you feel about a guy that bouncing back, a guy like Ezekiel Elliott that some people may be forgetting about?
Yeah, no, I think people are forgetting him. He is one of the guys that kind of slid, and another guy who I've seen slid, who is a multi-use guy, is Saquon Barkley, and he came off of PUP yesterday. I wouldn't expect to see him in the preseason, but I think if he's off PUP, you don't take him off PUP unless he's ready for week 1. So he's ready to go week 1, multi-dimensional. They're not very deep at the position of running back, so he's going to get his targets and touches. So he's a guy who I've seen slide in the draft, and we did 2 mock drafts, and one of the mock drafts I was able to actually grab Zeke in the first and Saquon in the second because nobody wanted to touch him. And we were doing the mock draft and at the same time on a Zoom, and everybody was kind of saying, ooh, you took the risk. I'm like, yeah, it's just too much at this point in time. Even if I get him in week 4, he's a good pickup later on in the season.
Is he a first rounder? I mean, are you thinking of him as a first rounder?
He's late first rounder, early second rounder. Just because he's coming back from the injury, it's usually the second year that a guy from an ACL injury really bounces back. But he's still, the value he has is that he's in a backfield with not a lot of talent around him, and that's what's huge. Like if this were Nick Chubb coming back, you'd say, well, we have Kareem Hunt and Dearness Johnson in the backfield also, and we can kind of spoon feed him and get him up to pace. I don't think that's going to be the case with Saquon Barkley. I think he's a guy you can steal a little bit later, first round, early second round.
Yeah. The Nick Chubb one is a tough one because of Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt gets a lot of the red zone action. Chubb seems to get more of the long distance touchdowns, and Kareem Hunt seems to be the guy that's always in there when they're in tight. You almost kind of want to link 2 guys like that if you're going to go that route. That's a tough one to go. Cleveland's going to have an explosive offense, but it's hard to determine which one of those guys is going to be the bell cow in terms of getting getting the points, getting the touch. Kareem Hunt will go for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns, where Nick Chubb will have 115 yards and 1 score.
Yeah. So it's a matter of trying to figure out what teams do. You're going to learn tendencies. You probably want to look back last year. Some of these magazines will have it, but some of the Pro Football Focus will have, like, he's getting this amount of red zone touches, and we'll have that in the magazine too. Like, look for this guy to be more of the goal line, short yardage guy. Look at this guy between the 20s. We actually have a running back handcuff depth chart that was put together. So it's the top 4 running backs on each team. So like later on in the season, if you have a couple of injuries, who the guy to look out for on the practice squad is, or a guy who's been playing special teams. Let me just give you an example. 2 years ago when Travis Homer was 3rd or 4th on the depth chart in Seattle and was playing in a playoff game. Those type of things happen.
Give me your thoughts on Julio Jones now with the Tennessee Titans, a team that's going to run the ball a lot, obviously, with Derrick Henry, but certainly can chuck it around a little bit with Ryan Tannehill, whose numbers have been deceptively good the last few years. But what about Julio? A lot of people have him second, third round type guy. He always used to be a lock, early in a draft. Where are you at on Julio?
Julio, I'm going in that second, third round. I think him and AJ are going to split a lot of the catches. And I'm just wondering what do you do if you're a defense if it's 3rd and 2, and they're lined up with Blasingame at fullback, the 2 receivers, Berkshire at tight end, Henry is the running back, and they run play action. Like, what are you doing? Are you cheating up in the box to stop Henry?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of big plays out of the receivers. I think their yard per reception out of those 2 guys in Tennessee is going to be off the charts. And if in a PPR, they might be less valuable because their yards per reception is going to be bigger. So I think in standard leagues, those guys have more value.
Give me a sleeper. Give me a guy that whether he's a rookie or a vet, a guy that Odell Beckham Jr. coming back, what he might do, or some guy that we're not thinking about too much. Matt Stafford was always a big fantasy guy when he was with the Lions. Does it change now that he's with the Rams? Win more games and have worse fantasy numbers. Just give me some guy that's a little bit sneaky that you feel like could have a big season.
I am going to go with a guy who has put up good numbers, but I think is going to put up even better numbers with the weapons around him in the quarterback situation. And I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin, wide receiver out of Washington. I think he's a 100-plus catch type guy. A couple of years ago, he lined up against Stephon Gilmore in the 2019 the year Gilmore was the defensive player of the year, and he put Gilmore on skates. And with the addition of Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, McKissick, all stepping up, you got Fitzmagic now back.
Yeah, but the quarterback's 60 years old, though. I mean, I think the quarterback is going to, he's going to collect unemployment and and Medicaid and all at the same time in his retirement. You got an old guy there.
Well, they're going to do something different in Washington that they didn't do in Miami, and that is they're not just going to have a walker behind center, but when he scrambles out, he'll actually have a walker waiting for him along the right hash mark, and he can hold on to that and huck the football. So it's a better idea. Ron Rivera has more of an idea. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, I like that. Now, and a lot of folks around here, a lot of guys in college football country, they want to draft guys from their favorite college. Tua Tagovailoa didn't have any kind of camp. He played a year that I thought was a gift year because he had really shouldn't even have been playing that first year coming off of a hip injury. He's 100% now. He's getting all the snaps. He's had the mini camps, the OTAs, and everything else. Could he surprise a little bit? Could Tua be something, or does he flame out?
I'm not big on Tua.
Really?
Let me tell you, I would find the Miami Dolphins so much more of a threat to the team, just in general, if they had drafted Justin Herbert. There's just something with Tua's game that isn't matching up with Fleury's in that offense. And it's a new offense again this year. And just, I don't know, the pieces are just very weird. I can't describe it to you without, being on film and going, they rolled him to his right rather than his left against the grain, and he's not hitting a receiver in stride. You really need to see that Week 17 game against Buffalo last year when he got forced in when Fitzpatrick had COVID. And it really was a bad situation. It really was.
I just wonder, though, not having the benefit of any practice. I mean, he wasn't the starter going in. I just think I think he'll have one of the biggest jumps of anybody out there. Now, whether or not what that means, I don't know. We'll see. I noticed that nobody's listening to Deshaun Watson, though. I mean, you can't even touch that guy. You got to totally stay away from that guy right now, right? I mean, do you even think he plays this year?
I think he's on commissioner exempt list this year. I think he gets traded after the year. One spot I'd look at is possibly Green Bay after the season. If Jordan Love isn't going to be the guy there, if they don't see enough development. I think commissioner exempt list. There's just too much there. And really the organization isn't that happy with him. And just listening to John McClain, who is one of the most respected reporters in this country from the Houston Chronicle, is they don't really want him there and the fans don't really want him there. So it's a tough situation.
Yeah, John said that John's a friend, and John said he's played his last game for the Houston Texans. He said that's what John McClain says. He'll never suit up again for the Houston Texans. So we'll see. You mentioned Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, MVP last year. Where do you rank him amongst your quarterbacks going into this year?
He's definitely a top 7 guy with Randall Cobb coming back. Still the Devontae Adams. I love Allen Lazard, Tanyan. Good running backs. Even up to Jones, you have A.J. Dillon now, and they drafted the kid Kylan Hill is their 3rd running back, if you remember him, out of Mississippi State. He was one of my real sleepers in the NFL draft. He's a guy you can watch late in the season if there's injuries. He's a guy to keep an eye on, just as a late season pickup.
Always a pleasure. Buddy Andrade has been our guest, and pick up the magazine, go to the site, E2G Sports, and you can check that out there and get all the fantasy information that you need to try and beat me this year in fantasy football, which is going to be very difficult to do. I'm just saying.
Yes, sounds good, my friend. Thank you so much. And anybody who picks up the magazine, please tweet us. Let us know you picked it up, and maybe after a little bit there'll be some prizes. Maybe we'll send some shirts out.
There you go. Some good stuff. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you too, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to break in here. We are open lines now the rest of the show. I promised you yesterday that I was going to do Unleashed on the comparisons between Nick Saban and Bobby Bowden, and I did, and in my research I found some really fascinating things, but it brings up an interesting question that I want to pose next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
The NFL preseason underway after last week's Hall of Fame game and more teams getting started this week. A look at the early odds for NFL MVP in 2021. Patrick Mahomes, the odds-on favorite, plus 500, followed by Aaron Rodgers at plus 800, Josh Allen plus 1,000, Tom Brady plus 1,200, and Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, and Kyler Murray each at plus 1,400. NBA MVP odds for the 2021-22 season. Luka Doncic at plus 550, Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant each at plus 700. Golf, the Wyndham Championship underway tomorrow. Webb Simpson, the odds-on favorite, at plus 1,200, Hideki Matsuyama at plus 1,400, Louis Oosthuizen at plus 1,800.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day-age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands, or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Tuesday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. A fair mix of sunshine and cloud cover. Temperatures rising into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices in the upper 90s, lower triple digits. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. At the end of the day, many of us are going to be dry. This is essentially a rinse and repeat process as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of football anywhere.
See, now this is a football. I want you to carry this with you always. Never let it out of your sight.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Glad you are with us today. This segment of the show brought to you by TOC Sports. For all your injury needs, it's TOC Sports. And, of course, their fine surgeons and therapists and so on can take care of you and make sure that you get right no matter how you got hurt. Doesn't have to be an athletic injury. It could be a work injury. It could be something from working in the yard. It could be because you're getting old, all right? And when you go see the docs at TOC, they can make it right. That's TOC Sports, taking care of us for over 20 years here in the Tennessee Valley. All right, speaking of injuries, now I'll get to the Bobby Bowden comparison with Nick Saban in a minute. But speaking of injuries, as I told you earlier, I got called out a little bit on the text window. And I always tell you all the time, use the text window. I read them on the air. And it can be critical of the show. It could be a stance that you have taken. I am not one of those talk show hosts that get offended by people's opinions. I am very much in the belief that you have an opinion, you should be able to voice your opinion. We should be able to have an intelligent conversation about ideas. I'm not one of these. I don't cancel people. I'm not that guy. So yesterday after the show, I got a text message from Casey. And Casey said in her text, quote, disappointed at Thom Abraham Show and ESPN for the comments made about Calvin Johnson and his anti-opioid stance. As someone who has worked in the medical field and more specifically pain management, it is not only irresponsible but also reckless to imply that he quit because he kept failing for THC. You obviously have no clue about current events or what the opioid epidemic has done to America, or the number of high school athletes who are now dead because of opioid addiction. You should be applauding Calvin for trying to shed light on this century's biggest epidemic. Shame on you. Okay, break this down here for a moment. Grizz, you were at the show yesterday. I don't recall, and again, it's out there. It's on it. You can go listen to it. It's out there on the, on the podcast. But I do not recall criticizing Calvin Johnson's anti-opioid stance. In no way or shape or form was I criticizing his anti-opioid stance. I did say that he quit because he had constant pain. He was self-medicating with marijuana. I did not say he kept failing for THC. I said that he couldn't keep using it. He would eventually get jammed up in the NFL's drug testing rules. How he made it through all this time, I don't know. But he has openly said that he smoked marijuana before and after games all throughout his career to manage pain. He said that. So that's a fact. And he did quit. He retired, whatever, she takes umbrage with the fact that I used the word quit. Well, he quit. He quit playing ball. He retired because the pain and the way he was managing the pain wasn't going to mesh with the NFL. To say I have no clue about the opioid epidemic is ridiculous because obviously we know what opioids do. I've been on them. I've never been addicted to them. I know that you can become addicted to a number of things, but did I criticize, Grizz, the speech by Calvin Johnson or did I not say that he is now working on trying to come up with better ways to manage pain, plant-based ways to manage pain, and he quit the league or whatever you want to say, retired because he just couldn't manage it the way he wanted to manage it anymore.
No, I
want to take the opiates.
Not from what I heard yesterday. No, all I heard you just kind of just not be on the same stance as CBD and other forms of
I don't know
marijuana use, but other than that,
right,
no, I didn't see you dogging the man. No, I just think it's how you use your words. Maybe that's probably about it.
Right, we don't know if CBD oil yet. It is not. Been through all the FDA testing and everything. We don't know if it really does anything.
Yeah.
We don't know what impact it has. It probably helps something, but they've got it, these people will tell you that CBD oil solves everything. All the world's problems could be solved by CBD oil. We don't know this. And what I did say was, and you used the word placebo, and I wasn't saying that it was a placebo, but what I did say is that the mind is a very strong thing. And if you think a certain product is helping you, it likely will help you. If you really believe that something is good for you or it is helping you, it may help you. It may help you that way. Keep in mind what Calvin Johnson is doing with his company, Primitive, is not just about CBD oil. It's full-on marijuana with the THC and so on. And, yes, you can become addicted to opioids. It's a very, very – it's a brutal thing. The opioid addiction epidemic. But can you not become addicted to marijuana? Is marijuana not? I mean, some people will say it's a gateway drug. Others will say it is not. I am one, to be honest with you, that have never understood why marijuana was illegal and alcohol is not. All right? I mean, I can go to Jack Daniels. I can go grab a bottle of a fifth of Jack and if that's the way you want to unwind, that's fine. I can walk into a bar and order vodka or gin or whatever your drink of choice is, your alcohol of choice is, and use that to unwind or relax your mind or self-medicate or whatever the case is. I don't understand why, if your way, I am not into anything that's mind-altering. I don't like the feeling of being out of control. I'll have a beer 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. Okay? I have a summer shandy sit on the swing with my wife, one. You know what I mean? I'll drink a hard lemonade once in a while. Okay? But I don't get hammered. I don't drink to the point where I'm woozy or where I feel like I've lost any kind of control over my... I hate that feeling. I tried marijuana a couple of times in college like everybody else. It didn't really do anything to me. All right, it didn't do much. I didn't smoke much of it, but it didn't do much. But I don't like anything that alters my control over my own faculties. But having said that, I have never understood why a player after a game gets on a plane and is handed 2 beers when he gets on the plane to fly back after a game, or there's a cases of beer on ice on the plane for the players when they get on the plane, yet they can't smoke dope. Whatever, to me, it just is another way to whatever makes you feel good type of thing. So that's a different issue. That's a whole other thing. I know that they're both. It's very, very. I don't want somebody smoking dope after a game and getting in a car and driving. It being under the influence, because the people they kill might be one of my people if you overdo it. Now, and there's a lot of different things. You can read all the stories about what Calvin Johnson's company is doing, and are trying to, there's different ways they're trying to get the quote-unquote high out of it. But they don't mince. They're not like totally, it's not a CBD deal. His thing is about the full-on medical marijuana. And that's a way, and maybe these plant-based things, there are different ways to make it work. But her point was that shame on me for
Bad Tom
for attacking Calvin Johnson. I was just stating the facts. All right? And I was just so I'm trying to clarify that as best as possible. She says you used the term quit, as well as your comments to the next caller implying the use of CBD wasn't backed by science and might be all in people's head, was what tied to it all together for me. As someone with a public platform, you should be welcoming any safe alternative to opioid use, period. I am. Any safe alternative would be fantastic. Safe alternative. And if this is a safe alternative, fine. All I'm saying is that we don't know. Right, there have been many, many studies. We don't know yet whether the CBD oil, my doctor doesn't prescribe CBD oil. We don't know yet from a medical standpoint the science behind it, whether or not it works or not. I know that some people think my daughter sells these oils that are, and she gave my wife one of these oil mist things, you know what I mean? That are supposed.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm talking about? Those fragrances.
Essential oils. You got your essential oils.
Essential oils.
Oh my god!
My daughter sells these essential oils, and my wife, and
That's
this one will
snake
make
stuff.
Yeah, this one will make you feel good, and this one makes your mood change, and this one, my wife likes the way they smell. You know what I mean? So she likes the way the lavender smells in the kitchen, so she does it. We don't think it changes anything. It's not like we don't have more or less arguments because of it, or we don't have our food doesn't taste better or whatever. The essential oils, but a lot of people believe in these essential oils, and I got to be honest with you.
You believe in them?
No, I have. I have neuropathy because of my diabetes, right? I get bad circulation in my feet, so I got this neuropathy, and it's not good. So I was in Allan, Georgia. One of our trips to the mountains, we go to we go into the mountains in Georgia, hang out at the cabin in North Georgia. Anyway, so we were there and we went into town and we were walking around Allan, and there was some place, and this woman sold all these bath oils and soap shop, and my wife wanted to buy a couple of robes. We bought robes and everything. And so the woman started talking about this oil that she had developed out of these different minerals and plant-based stuff and everything else. And she says, do you have any pain? I said, well, my pain is neuropathy. I get my feet, they tingle, and they'll hurt at night sometimes. Rub this on your feet. Before you go to bed, rub this on your feet. I take a gabapentin is the medication I take for it. Rub this on your feet. I rubbed it on my feet. I'll be damned. I don't know what the heck was going on, but I'll be damned if my feet didn't feel better. I don't know if the stuff was soaking in somehow. I don't know what the heck was going on. It smelled good.
Yeah.
I rubbed it on my feet. I massaged it into my feet. Now, here's what I think. I don't know. Maybe the oil did something. 2, maybe in my head it did something. 3, I was massaging my feet with the oil, right? So maybe the act of massaging the feet with the oil helped my circulation. Right, Chris?
It's probably the menthol in the
menthol
in the container or whatever's in the fragrance. It's probably that tingling that you feel, the cool.
So, I don't know. So anyway,
I don't know how it works.
I told her, I said he did quit because of the pain, and there is some spudgy science, on the full effect of the oils. but anything is better than the opiates. And so she went on to say, when Brett Favre, who openly admitted he was addicted to opioids, quits, you say he retired. Well, no.
What?
I don't know. I
don't
know what I said.
I think
he
when
quit or retired he did retire. He played twice as many years as Megatron did.
I think when people hear the word quit, they think that you just it's like negative. When a lot of times, I think a lot of people use that term as like you're done, like you quit. You're done. Like you're just saying
time.
That you quit. Yeah,
the end of the day is quitting time, right?
Like,
I don't know.
Like you did quit. Like you did give up. Like you couldn't play anymore.
I wouldn't use the word in a medical. I wasn't using the word in a disparaging way.
Yeah.
When Megatron leaves the game, he quits. LOL. I'm a white woman who was born and raised in the South, but was fortunate enough to live and at least visit the majority of the 50 states. As a native New Yorker, you may not fully grasp what the Jim Crow South was like. Now, where is this coming from? So I'm going to assume your comments were innocent and weren't made out of malice, but intentionally or subconsciously. As a self-proclaimed man of faith, I hope in the future you acknowledge the power of your words and use your platform to encourage love and grace when we need it most. Well, thank you very much for that. She said, Brett Favre wasn't a good comparison, so I'll use Andrew Luck instead. He retired, but CJ quit. Do you see the message that you're projecting? No, there was nothing. There was nothing. I think Calvin Johnson's a great guy. I really do.
Calvin Johnson was awesome.
I thought Calvin Johnson
outside of being a player.
Yeah, I mean his speech. I mean, I think Calvin Johnson's a really good person. He's got family. He had a mommy and a daddy. He seems to be a good parent. From what we don't know him personally, but I think Calvin Johnson's great. I do want to say that I need to address this, based on the fact that I was born and raised in New York. I've lived in the South for half my life now. The Jim Crow South, I have no idea what that has to do with anything about my comments. But in no way, shape, or form is there anything racial about my comments. Whether or not, I hammered Brett Favre and all the crazy divas. I've been hammering Aaron Rodgers for 6 months on this radio show. Yeah. I think he's white. I don't know. I think he's white guy.
He'll never say anything bad about Baker Mayfield, though. Remember that, everybody.
Yes, I don't say anything bad about Baker. Not Baker. Not my boy.
Nothing about Baker Mayfield.
Not
though.
Baker.
No flaws in his game.
No flaws. Baker's fantastic. No, there was no racial. I'm not racially motivated. Too many years in sports. Too many friends in the NFL. Too many years coaching in a colorblind locker room. Whether CJ quit or retired, or however you want to say it, when Peyton Manning quit, when he was done, I can tell you, Casey, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, there is nothing, in no way, shape, or form was there any racial motivation regarding my comments about Calvin Johnson. He left the game because he was unable to he had a great deal of pain. The only way he was able to play was he didn't want to get hooked on the opioids. He used the marijuana, used it on a regular basis. He knew that this was going to be a problem in the league, and he left the game. He retired, he quit, he hung up the cleats, whatever. Just like Jim Brown quit, just like Barry Sanders quit when they quit, just like Gale Sayers had to quit when he had to quit, just like Joe Namath quit when he had to quit. Whoever it is, there's no racial component to it. I promise you, there's no racial component to it. I don't even know. I don't even know how that, how that would.
That blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, that part you lose me a little bit at that part. I understand. I you know what I appreciate this, that she's passionate about the opioid issue.
I mean, it's serious. It's very serious, and
very serious problem.
I like what a lot of these players are doing, whether it is a better alternative or not. I just think an alternative is something that we should get away from. I mean, we definitely should get away from this.
We got to figure out a way to manage the opioid.
I mean, opioids, I think, destroy families way more than CBD or marijuana ever has, to be honest with you. So I think I get it. I understand what she's trying to say, and I'm all for whatever, I just don't want people to do it for the wrong reasons, just to make money or just to get people hooked on something. You know what I mean? And continue the same way it's always been.
All of this stuff can be addictive. He started with marijuana recreationally at Georgia Tech.
Right.
He said that. He goes, I started using marijuana.
He went to college. Who didn't?
I was in college. I used it recreationally. And like I say, back to my original comment, I don't care whether or not your preferred method of loosening up your brain, whether it's beer, whiskey, or marijuana. I don't understand why marijuana is illegal and whiskey is not.
Well, they did it one
They
time.
They both have caused great problems for people. You know what I mean? But that's a whole different story. That's a whole nother story. That's not. It doesn't have anything to do with Calvin Johnson leaving the game. And the opioid issue as well. And I've had them. I've had surgeries, and I've had to take them, and I'll take them, for the shortest period possible time, and then I just stop. It's just, I don't think every single person who takes an opioid becomes hooked on them and becomes a heroin addict and then dies. It can't. Otherwise, they would be illegal. So there's got to be some proper usage of them. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back with a final segment next. I got to give you some of these numbers on. It was fascinating, some of the stuff I found out on the numbers between Saban and Bobby Bowden, very, very similar careers. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you got your tickets yet? Single game tickets for the Rocket City Trash Pandas full season are still available. Every Friday and Saturday night at Toyota Field ends with fireworks, and after the completion of every Sunday game, kids get to run the bases. You can reserve your spot at Toyota Field for any of the remaining Trash Pandas home games right now. Go to TrashPandasBaseball.com to get your tickets while supplies last. Trash Pandas Baseball. Ignite the season.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch. That's how I set the rhythm for a great day. Look for Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
You know it and I know it. Sometimes a brand new car or truck just isn't in the budget. That's where we come in. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I want to talk to you about the advantages of buying a Ford Gold certified used car or truck. These are low-mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties, a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive limited warranty, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles have passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians and come with a 24-hour roadside assistance too. You'll also get a Carfax vehicle history report and 22,000 Ford Pass reward points to use for future scheduled maintenance or other accessories. Plus, before you leave in your Gold certified used car, we'll be sure to give you a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change, even new wiper blades. Gold certified vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer. The promoter don't mind.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Final segment brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, whether it's a refinance or a first-time buy or a new property that you're purchasing, the folks at North Alabama Mortgage will do a tremendous job for you. Check out Brian Hamaker and his team. They are there for you, in not only in Alabama, but in Tennessee and in Florida as well. For all your property buying needs, the folks at North Alabama Mortgage can take care of you, that's for sure. The Chubby Ninja said, by going racial, Casey negated some really good comments that she had made in her argument. And, that was the part I didn't understand, where that part came from. It kind of went sideways there when it was like, wait a minute, am I using the term quit because it's Kelvin Johnson and he's a black dude? No, that's not really a part of the thinking. All right, let me get Brandon in here. I can hold this comparison between Nick Saban and Bobby Bowden for tomorrow. It's not going to change. Or, I'm sorry, Thursday. Remember, I'm not here tomorrow. I am off tomorrow. I have no idea what Grizz and Moulton are planning for tomorrow, but I will not be here tomorrow. I've got a full day of tests. It's a cardiac day for me tomorrow. So we're going to find out why my beeper is going off. Brandon, what's going on, man?
I think Steve and Grizz are going to be doing Heart Attack Tracks Volume 2 tomorrow.
Heart Attack Tracks. I like that. Heart Attack Tracks. I mean, that works for me.
No problem, just having a heart attack.
That works for me.
Well, I have a question for you. I've had to alter some vacation plans because of my son's football schedule will not allow me to go to Navy and Air Force on September 11th.
Yeah.
So we have pulled the trigger on going to Keystone, Colorado, and planning to do a little fishing up there. And from what I can tell, in Summit County, it's all trout and some Kookaneese salmon. And I'm trying to figure out, because you're the man, is fly fishing better for that, or hook and worm, or another?
Well, it depends on what kind of water you're fishing. Are you going to be fishing fast moving? Are you fishing a river? Are you wading? That kind of stuff. I would be fly fishing. Yeah, if I was doing that.
Well,
but you got to know what the hell you're doing with that. Yeah.
I figure we might take a trout fishing class to Snake River.
Yeah, if you're going to be fishing a river. If you're going to be fishing, if you're wading versus going in a float boat, if it's a float boat, it may not be fly fishing, but yeah, typically that kind of stuff is fly fishing. That would be the best way to go for that.
Well, we were looking at that and that or the Blue River, and I really want to take him out and let him catch something big that's going to be a little bit of a fight for him. but I don't know if he's mastered fly fishing because I'm not very good at it myself either. So
Yeah.
I thought about some shallow creeks, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can be prepared either way, but it would be neat to learn. You know, it'd be neat for him to learn how to fly fish. And if he's got any kind of coordination, he probably would pick it up pretty quick. And then it's something he's got, you know, for life.
You got any guys or any guides out in that area of Colorado that you know?
Heck
you recommend?
no. I don't know anybody out that way.
Well, appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I don't even crappie fish. I don't catfish. I don't crappie fish. I just don't get it. If I were spending 300 days on the water, then maybe I would crappie fish like a couple of times. I don't walleye fish. I'm a bass fisherman. Now, if I'm on the coast, I love fishing for reds and snook. But if I'm out of freshwater, I don't have enough days to be out there to do anything other than largemouth and smallmouth, to be honest with you. But that's just me. All right, I will be back on Thursday. In the meantime, Chuck is coming up next, then Paul, and then The Drive from the Furniture Factory on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Southern Fidelity Mortgage. Think of them as a loan for everyone, offering more products than anyone else and the guaranteed lowest rates and costs in town. Of the 2,000 loans that